Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Dadimus Prime's Hobbies. Today I have a very special guest, my beautiful wife, Mrs. Prime. Say hello.
Hello.
Today we are going to be sharing with you Legos Harry Potter, if I can get it lined up right, Harry Potter Attack of the Burrows. Now, so I had my wife building this, one because it's hers, and two because sometimes when I'm busy she takes care of the Lego builds because that's what she loves doing. So normally I have her tell me how the build went, what she thought of it, and I would try to emulate that for y'all. However, the way she was explaining it, she was actually very passionate about this build. There's no way I could have emulated it, so I've asked her to come on the show today, and she is reluctantly said yes. So before I have her talk about the build, I'm going to show you her building it, and then we'll start talking about it. now that you've seen the build, I'm going to turn it over to her, and I'm going to have her explain to you her thought processes of the build, what she thinks of it, and hopefully y'all like it.
So one of the cool things about all of the different Harry Potter sets is, I will say, the number of minifigures that it comes with. This one came with 8, and while I haven't gotten to Diagon Alley or the castle, there are significantly more, especially compared to some of the other large sets that I've done, such as like the Disney Castle. This build I thought was really interesting because if anybody has seen the Harry Potter movies, read the books, you know that the Burrow is a very cramped house with a lot of stuff, a lot of different things going on in the magical world. And they did a really good job of really emulating that in this build. And as you saw, you kind of build layer by layer and keep going up. One of the really neat things is you see the different bedrooms, and you can actually pinpoint, if you know all of the characters, who goes in what space. They also show some of the outside of the house. One of the really neat features about this is that it actually opens and closes in both the front and the back like a dollhouse. Which seems to be very common in the Harry Potter and the Disney series that Lego has been putting out. So you can actually store this completely closed up, or if you're displaying it in an open space, you can open it up and essentially play with it like a Lego and not have it just be a display piece. The other thing that was really neat about it is, the other thing you saw if you, again, watched the movies, read the book, is that the Burrow is crooked. It has kind of this lean to it because it's so tall, and they actually emulate that right here in the build itself, which actually made it kind of complicated, at least for me when building, because I expected it to lay flat. And so it has kind of this hinge to it that made it interesting kind of putting it together and remembering that it was there.
Yeah, because then it just seems like am I putting this together right? It's like, why is it in this angle? And then trying to remember that's actually how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, and it's absolutely designed to be that way, but it made it interesting when you're like, okay, well, are the pieces going together correctly? When in fact they are. It also does have some moving pieces inside, such as their stove. So again, very, I'll say dollhouse-like in its ability to play with it. The back here, there's a little pig pen that opens and closes. A lot of different moving pieces. I really enjoyed building this one. It wasn't an incredibly complicated build, something that took a significant amount of time. So it was a nice small one, and compared to our collection that we have sitting in the closet of things to build, this was a nice one to pick up and just spend a couple of hours working on, and really enjoyed it. Excited to get my other Harry Potter pieces and be able to kind of put them on display all together. And if I remember this build, similar to all the other ones, you probably see our daughter's hands coming in and helping, which she in her own right is becoming a Lego enthusiast and starting to put them together by herself. So it's hopefully something that we passed on.
Yeah, it's even happened in a couple of my other videos, just seeing little random hands pop into the screen. But to touch back on all the stuff that she was talking about in the rooms, you can just even look inside the kitchen, all the stuff that's on the table inside the bedrooms, it is just crammed full of stuff. And I really enjoy that little nice detail added to it. The fireplace actually is supposed to turn, and you can also see stuff in the living room, a lantern, a candlestick holder. It is very nice setup for such a small package that it is.
The one other feature that I liked about this is that even though they're calling it the attack on the Burrow, they did it in a way that what you really have is you have your, obviously, your bad guys. But they put the fire separate, so you could display this as it was intended, more of kind of like an attack piece, and set it up that way, or set it up as just the house with the characters, depending on, you know, how big of a setup you have and how you enjoy having all of your Harry Potter stuff together.
Yeah, so if you want to build like a big set, you could probably have this into like a whole Harry Potter world, and you wouldn't even have to have the fire in there. You could just have this as another structure in your project. Well, like I said, there's no way I could have emulated how she felt about this build, so that's why I've asked her to come on the show. Please put in the comments down below if you would like to see her on more future videos. Other than that, I think we've got pretty much everything with this build. And I shall see you in the next one. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I shall see you in the next one. Thank you.